When you take that photograph into your hands, that ache you feel right in the center of your chest, it's still there. A knot in your throat. In your mind, a dusty beam of golden light. You want to go back to that moment, to those days, to a time when everything was simpler, when the sun felt brighter, when laughter felt more real. Where you are now is cold. Where you are now is gray. But the past flows over you like warm honey, smooth, sweet, comforting. You're deceiving yourself. That longing you feel right now isn't for a real moment. You're clinging to a ghost that never truly existed. Your mind is playing tricks on you, and this is its most ruthless, most insidious game. They call it Rosy Retrospection, the cognitive bias of remembering the past as pink, or in your case, a burnished gold. But this isn't an academic definition. This is your existential prison. Remember those university years you miss so much. What comes to mind now? Conversations on the campus grass with friends, the lightness after exams, that endless surge of youthful energy. That's the montage your mind serves you. But where is the rest of the truth? Those anxiety-filled mornings, the nights you twisted in bed, terrified of the future, the shame you felt when you were broke, the endless, mind-numbing lectures. Where did you put them? You deleted them. Your mind is not a documentary filmmaker. Your mind is a corrupt propaganda minister, manipulating the truth. Why do you do this? Why do you lie to yourself? Because the present is heavy. The present is where uncertainty, responsibility, and friction live. The now is dangerous. The now contains pain. But the past is dead. And because it's dead, it's safe. It's like rewatching a match when you already know the score. No surprises, no risk. Your brain, driven by survival, doesn't want to archive pain. Pain is a cognitive burden, so it compresses those memories. While reducing the file size, it cuts out the rough edges, the boredom, the waiting, the discomfort you felt in real time. What remains are only the peak moments. When you remember a vacation, you don't remember the suffocating 5 hours at the airport. You remember the moment you first stepped into the sea. And then you whisper to yourself, "What an incredible vacation." It looks like a defense mechanism, but the price is high. When you polish the past into perfection, you betray the present. The present can never compete with that fictional past. Think about that old relationship. When it ended, it hurt. There were incompatibilities, fights, tears. But months pass, years pass, and your mind sits down at the editing table. It cuts the arguments, deletes the cold silences. What's left is the excitement of the first date, that walk in the rain, that look. Now you're alone, and you label that relationship as perfect. Because of that label, you can't see a real, sincere person who might enter your life today. No one can compete with the polished ghost living in your mind. Here's the irony. During that so-called golden age, while you were living those days, you were probably longing for another past. Your childhood, your high school years. You were never here. You kept walking while looking backward. And someone who walks while looking backward never sees the hole in front of them. You're falling. You keep falling into the same hole. This isn't nostalgia. This is a drug. The more you dose yourself with the past, the lower your tolerance becomes for present reality. You lose your tolerance for boredom. You lose your tolerance for ordinariness. Most of life is gray, neutral, waiting. But because you're addicted to those selected, shining, amber-colored memories, you interpret every shade of gray as bad. You need to notice this. You need to catch this mechanism in the act. When the sentence, "Everything was better back then," is about to leave your lips, stop. Examine that moment the way a detective examines a crime scene. Was it really? Or does it only feel safe because you already know the outcome? Did you forget the uncertainty you felt while you were inside that moment? The fear of the future? The past, when it was lived, wasn't the past. It was a now, and it was flawed, rough, filled with tedious details. What you miss isn't a time period. What you miss is the potential of who you were back then. The innocence of mistakes not yet made. The openness of doors not yet closed. You must be compassionate toward yourself, but the blade of honesty must remain sharp. Don't trust your memories. They aren't loyal servants. They're flatterers who invent stories to please you. Right now, this very second, while you're watching this video, maybe your back hurts. Maybe the room is a bit cold. Maybe there's an unpaid bill on your mind. This moment is flawed, but it's the only thing that's real. This grayness, this texture, this breath. If you don't break this illusion, you'll spend your life in a waiting room, like a traveler waiting for a door from the past to open, refusing to accept that it's locked. And do you know the greatest paradox? 10 years from now, you'll look back at today. You'll remember this emptiness, this searching, this melancholy. And your mind will pick up its brush again. It will erase today's gray, paint it gold. And on some cold future day, you'll desperately want to return to now. This moment you're living and trying to escape is the good old days you'll one day long for.